So great, thanks Marian for organizing this. I appreciate everybody who came here. I know it's not easy to wake up like 6 in the morning and come to a sharing event. And I'm definitely not going to give any financial advice whatsoever. I've done that mistake many, many times. And a lot of people ended up in the hole, so let's try to avoid that conversation. Also, this is not a technical share, so I'm not going to be your professor of the day, so whatever you want to learn on NFTs and blockchain, it's all available on YouTube, and you have all the information on the internet. What I wanted to share with you guys today is more of like the philosophy of things behind blockchain and NFTs, like dumb it down in a way where we can all understand what's happening and the new paradigm shift. So very quickly, yes, my mother is wondering where she went wrong raising me. And a lot of us in the blockchain space, we're taking on this kind of new image, new form, trying to represent ourselves in the NFT space via new avatars that are now connected to your Twitter and kind of like representing who you are in the metaverse space. But very quickly, if you read this, I'm involved in a bunch of projects. My favorite one being JPEG Culture, which is an NFT media publication platform similar to Cointelegraph. Have you heard of Cointelegraph? Okay. Actually, so let me start by asking you a few questions to understand my audience better. Who here knows what an NFT is? Okay. Who here has bought an NFT? Cool. Who here has a MetaMask wallet? Okay. Binance wallet? Okay, so this is a kind of a fresh audience. I get that. All right. Excellent. So that's kind of like my background. I'm a venture capitalist in blockchain crypto. I've been investing in DeFi, layer 1 blockchains, layer 2 scaling solutions. And around 2 years ago, I moved into NFTs in the metaverse. I saw kind of a big paradigm shift happening in the space. Well, I'll just go through this very quickly. So there's a new paradigm shift, something that I like to call the age of the great digital acceleration that started with COVID, and the rise of the digital asset economic class. Like a lot of us, especially like post-90s, post-2000s, we don't have access to the wealth that the boomers have. So as an example, as a fresh graduate right now, it's very, very hard to, let's say, buy an apartment or acquire assets or even invest in things that are overinflated. One example I like to give always is, maybe this is a little bit sensitive to talk about, but as an example, when you work for a company, what you're giving away to that company is your time and youth, which is a depreciating asset. And in return, they're paying you in toilet paper money, which is also a depreciating asset. So it's getting harder and harder with an inflationary economy to really acquire wealth and to really grow yourself and invest in things. And I'm calling this the greatest redistribution of wealth in the history of mankind. You're going to see a lot of money flowing into Web 3.0. And actually, I think this year, for 2022, you're going to see a lot of Web 2.0 money flowing into Web 3.0. Facebooks, Amazons, the Walmarts and the Googles, all that money is going to be flowing into the metaverse and NFTs. Okay, cool. So who knows what an NFT is really knows? Maybe somebody can give me an example of what they know. You want to go for it? Okay, great. Our understanding of NFTs, or the general understanding, like when people say what an NFT is, most of us think digital art. That's wrong. Digital art is just one subset of what an NFT is. But that's how we all entered the NFT space, via avatars and art and stuff, and stuff that we think is pretty and we bought, but actually not. So NFTs is beyond digital art. The future of NFTs is actually in its business use cases. I actually spoke about this 3 years ago, and they threw the proverbial tomato at me. But the evolution of NFTs, the future is going to be in its business use cases, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. Financial protocols as well. So what does that mean? I'll explain to you later. Okay, so I'll read this out loud. What is an NFT? It's a special type of token generated through cryptographic hash methods, which is stored on a blockchain using blockchain technology, and it links with a unique digital asset that cannot be replicated. So it's very unique, it's non-exchangeable, it's non-immutable. Smart contracts inside the NFT help in storing the unique and exclusive data that differentiates one NFT from another. So what are the characteristics of an NFT? First, every single NFT is unique. That's very important. Another one is it's not replaceable with similar tokens. And the scarcity of the NFT increases its value. So like you said, I wouldn't call it luxury, but I would say it's more in its scarcity. So the scarcer it is, the more value it has.
I mean, luxury, I mean, it's something that actually does not have any function. It's all value based on what value you put on it.
Right. Good. I was going to say something. It's okay. Okay, so when you get confused, just think of an NFT as a digital authenticator. Like, trust me, guys, when I started in the space, I had no idea what an NFT was. And it took me a long time to really understand what an NFT is. But like, the simplest way is look at it as a digital authenticator. So it's a proof of actual exclusivity and ownership of a specific asset on the blockchain. That's the real value of the NFT. It's in its digital authentication. Can somebody give me an example of what this might look like? Beyond digital art.
I mean, there are a lot of tokens that you search for government, for like ownership of the
Okay. Anybody else want to give it?
One of the use cases can be in education, for example.
Yeah.
We see that our resume, for example, or CV, right?
Exactly.
Can be changed. Like, like we put in resume something that we want to see ourselves, not like, what the companies are looking for. Then also the university certificates, right?
Exactly.
Change, right? If you want to provide immutable, right, code, blockchain code, then like it can be
Excellent.
Can be checked, for example, on the this blockchain resources, right?
Correct.
To authenticate.
Correct. Correct. That's very good. And actually, like the way things are going to be evolving, just like you have on Web 2.0, your public identity is your Facebook profile page, right? Or your Instagram profile, or your Twitter profile. But in Web 3.0, that's going to move to the public wallet. So in your public wallet, I'll have access to what NFTs you hold, how much money you have, what kind of certifications you own, your driver's license, et cetera, et cetera. That's all going to be on a public wallet, accessible to everybody. So that's what I kind of love and hate about blockchain at the same time. Everything's accessible, everything's transparent, but at the same time, there's a little bit of that privacy aspect to it. But at least your name's not there. You're just a public address. That's the good part. Unless you know that person. So if you want to send me money, I'll give you my public wallet or my crypto. That was my cryptocrete.eth is my kind of my address. And you'll know who I am. And you'll know how much money I have in my, let's say, what I hold in my public wallet. Yeah, so we spoke about this. So non-fungible tokens, that's what I wanted to share actually. So fungible tokens, I'll give you an example of what fungible means. If you give me $10 and I'll give you back 2 5s, right? That's fungible, it can be split up. But a non-fungible token, it's another way to understand NFTs is cannot split it up. Make sense? So far so good? So yeah, back to ownership verification. So basically, if I buy a copy of a Mona Lisa, it's a copy of a Mona Lisa, it's not the real one. But with an NFT, you can verify that original contract address, and that is how I know you actually have the original Mona Lisa. Okay, this is like, every time I speak about this, actually this PPT is around 3 years old. This PPT is literally 2.5 years ago. And it's funny because when I talk about this again, it gets more and more relevant each day. And it's awesome that I'm talking about it because this is where the explosive potential of NFTs are. It's in its business use cases. Okay, so we spoke about collectibles. Everybody knows CryptoKitty in 2017. That blew up on the ERC20. Licenses and certifications, as our friend here mentioned, is something that I think can be become NFTs. Fashion, we spoke about digital art. This is what everybody knows, buying digital art. Sports, name, service, and domains, as an example. If you saw my first slide next to my ape profile pic, there's cryptocrete.eth. That's kind of my metaverse name. So I've bought that domain name, and it's a .eth domain name, and I own that forever. And you don't need to send me money or send me a token via my smart contract. You can just type in cryptocrete.eth, and you can send it directly to my email address. It's not an email address, but it's a domain name. So this is where I'm really, 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 really excited about gaming and virtual worlds. As an example, if you're playing a game on the blockchain, one example of an NFT would be, who can give me an example of an NFT in the gaming space? Who's a gamer here, by the way? What's one example of an NFT on the gaming space? Who said skins? Yeah, skins. Exactly. So a skin is non-exchangeable, right? It's a skin. Like you can't cut a skin up on the game. So that's one. Weapons, bullets, all that's going to be traded via NFTs on the virtual world in the metaverse. You guys have any questions? You can maybe ask me something right now. All good? Cool.
Just have one question about skins and weapons in games. If we stay within the game, that's totally fine. However, if we want to bring the skin of your favorite character to another game, this is where the problem starts, I guess, because it's about technology, and then again, still have to communicate between different game publishers. So there's also discussions among game publisher, how this play to earn business models can be really disruptive for the traditional game players. Just bring it.
Was that a question?
Yeah, do you think NFTs and skin weapons will stay within domain of the blockchain gaming companies, but will still disrupt the traditional?
So that's a great question. Actually, a lot of traditional gamers hate the blockchain, and you see a lot of FUD, a lot of anti-blockchain gaming stuff. But the way I'm looking at it is they're all going to be moving into the blockchain space very, very soon because they will not have a choice. There's going to be a mass adoption of blockchain in the gaming space very soon. So great question. We spoke about digital art. I mean, this is something that it's really prevalent at the moment in the NFT space. Collectibles, same thing. Okay, so let's imagine the possibilities beyond crypto art. Licenses and certifications. If I want to hire, what's your name? Sihao. If I want to hire Sihao maybe 2 years down the future, or 4 years down the future, or 5 years down the future, and Sihao gives me his resume, and I want to verify all the certifications that he has. I may want to call a third-party auditing company to, do a background check on him. But that's kind of those background check companies, I think, will become obsolete very soon because all I need to do is just like companies now sometimes go to Sihao's Facebook profile and make sure he's not sniffing any cocaine or he doesn't have hookers by his side. Now what they would check is they would go to his public wallet and make sure all his NFTs are there, his licenses, his driver's license up to date, his diplomas, his education, all that is there. So which means also that all the middlemen, so what blockchain, here's my logic of things. What blockchain's doing it's eliminating the middleman. And again, this is very sensitive, especially in countries like China. But like banks might be irrelevant. Might be irrelevant. You know, lawyers might be irrelevant. That's what scares governments, actually. And it's okay, I'll say it a little bit out loud, but it's eliminating a lot of the middlemen that really don't add value to the life cycle of economic transactions. Yeah, how cool is that, right? Like, I will transact with Sahau. My trust with Sahau is based on a smart contract. So funny enough, what the crypto space has given us, and this is from personal experience, some of my best friends, some of my biggest business partners, some of my biggest clients are literally like people I call family, are people I have never freaking met in my life. Like, I've never shaken their hand. And we just deal on a trust basis based on a smart contract. And it's, yes, there are the scams, but the crypto world, what the blockchain world, what it's done, it's really united people together. And you'll see some of the nicest people in crypto. Everybody wants to help everybody, wake up at 7 in the morning and come talk about stuff. You know, that's what we want to do. We want to share as much as we can because it's a liberating force. Fashion, somebody mentioned fashion here. Was it you again? Somebody mentioned fashion. Also, stuff on the supply chain, like if you're buying something, you're buying honey, let's say, from, I don't know, some store, but you don't know if that honey is sugar or actually real honey. I'm very peculiar about my honey. Like, I love honey. And a lot of it, like 90% of honey is scam. It's all sugar, it's maple syrup. So you want to check like on the blockchain where that honey came, and it's kind of like, it's a very transparent process. You know exactly when it was made, who was it made by, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so another business use case that I'm excited about, and we're presently invested in a company called Backstage. Backstage is kind of like a new it's a traditional project that's trying to tokenize. When I say tokenize, trying to come into the crypto space. And a lot of these big event companies like AEG, who knows AEG here? Like AEG, like IMG, also another one, like Live Nation, Burning Man, Wonderfruit, all these festivals, they're going to be incorporating NFTs into ticketing. So your ticket now is actually an investment. That's something really cool. We're in talks with a project called Backstage, and they're really developing, like they've built up massive partnerships already. So you're going to see a lot of really cool stuff rolling out in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Yeah, this is another one, virtual lands and like real lands or real property. So instead of having a notary or some kind of like agent give you a license for your property, now that property can also have its digital version as an NFT. Again, it's like a certification. But that's one aspect. Another one for land and property is actually buying property in the metaverse. And I know that's kind of like hard to understand. And it doesn't really make sense. Like, what the hell does it mean to own land in the virtual space? But as we start moving, as like people start, like maybe our kids or maybe a lot of us or the new generation, as they start playing more games and getting integrated into Web 3.0 in the metaverse, you're going to see a lot of them acquiring assets that are non-acquirable in the traditional space. Like I said, it's very hard for me to buy an apartment in Shanghai. If I just graduated, no way. Like, no way. I would need entire generations of wealth to buy one toilet in Shanghai. Like, it's absolutely impossible. But so you're going to see a lot of this new generation acquiring assets in the metaverse. And more time, as you acquire assets, you're more inclined to engage and interact within that native ecosystem because you're going to be making friends, trading tokens, buying shit, selling shit, buying avatars, you know. So as you engage in that ecosystem, you're going to be acquiring more assets, and that asset may potentially increase in value. Yeah, you can actually buy land, like actual land, you know. It's really awesome. This is something that's happening now as we speak. So this PPT again was like 2.5 years ago, and I spoke about having your NFT become a collateral. Like, how crazy is that? You guys get what I'm saying? Like, you can now, on Genesis, I think, you can place your NFT as a collateral, like just the way you do with the bank, you know? When you want to take a loan from a bank, what you do is, what do you do? What does the bank ask you? What assets do you have? What assets do you have so that I can take it away from you? You can do the same thing, and an NFT now holds value, right? So that NFT can also be placed as a collateral, and you're maybe taking out some stable coins, or some, you're actually borrowing money on against your NFT. Okay, so I spoke about this, redefining the rules of ownership. Up till now, in the traditional system, we've been bound by these, I call them the leeching middlemen, the Mr. 5%, the commission takers, for doing pretty much nothing. All these middlemen are doing, they're bridging the trust gap. Why do you go to a bank? Why? Because the government says it's a place of trust. The only reason. Why do you deal with fiat money? What is the US dollar? It's a piece of paper. But why do we like to see that US dollar? It's really very psychological, it's very political. We deal with the US dollar because it's backed by the American government. It's backed by the American military power. So you're like, oh, you know what? US dollar's safe. So there's always that middleman. Same thing with lawyers. So if I want to transact with Sahal, I'm going to call my lawyer and make sure that there's a middleman between us, and he talks to his lawyer, I talk to my lawyer, they talk to each other. Like, it's a very time-consuming process. So what this is redefining the rules of ownership and removing that leeching middleman. Yeah. So guys, more and more you're going to see like businesses adopting NFTs to become more relevant in the space. As like Twitter just a week ago, you're going to see Facebook going hard into this. You're going to see Walmarts, all these big companies, the Amazons. More and more businesses are going to be adopting NFTs. As an example, if you take Jamaica Blue, let's take this place as an example. They issue you an NFT. That NFT is now yours. Every time you use that NFT, you get a 20% discount on your coffee. But then again, you can sell that NFT to this young lady here, and you earn royalties on that NFT perpetually, as an example. So more and more businesses are going to be adopting NFTs. Gaming, ticketing, it's like the potential is like exponential. I get very excited when I think about that. It's so nice. Okay, so like really, it's street cred versus digital cred, right? Like, so hey, Marion, what do you think? I'm sorry, I'll keep using you as an example. Let's use somebody else. What's your name, bro? Vasily. Hey, bro, what do you think about Vasily? Yeah, I heard he's a good guy, you know, he has a good reputation, people like him, or this guy's a scammer. Sorry, bro. You don't look like a scammer. Oh, yeah. Or like he's a scammer, but now I don't need to do that. He's got a digital cred, right? Like just like I said, I can check his Facebook profile on Web 2.0 and I'll see what kind of person he is. But now with Web 3.0, I can check your digital cred, which means I'll access your public wallet, I'll see what kind of NFTs you like, what kind of things you hold, what kind of coins you buy, etc., etc. And I can kind of like build a reputation based on that.
Is there no way to hide it?
There's no way to hide it, yeah. Is NFT, so everybody asks, is NFT a hype bubble? Fuck yes it is. Of course it is, but so was the internet in 1998 or to 1999 or the dot-com bubble in 2000. Yes, everything gets hyped up, everything blows up, but then it like kind of stabilizes again and more innovation is built on top of that. So yeah, like any investment, I'm not giving financial advice, For me, this is not, for me, blockchain, crypto, NFTs, for me, it's like very, very, very long term. I don't even look at my portfolio. I don't care. I'm just building. I'm just engaging. I'm just trying to do my best. But yeah, whether you're investing or not in NFTs, that's, you got to do your own research. Be very careful what you're buying. There's a lot of crap outside. Like, don't just buy any digital art NFT. Just like, why would you buy any art on the street, right? Assuming that it has value. Maybe it doesn't have any value. Or maybe you just buy it because you like it. Like, I bought my ape, that ape that you guys saw. Maybe in 3-4 years, it might go to 100 ETH or $500,000, I don't know. But for now, I just like it, and it's mine forever, and this is what I look like in the metaverse. So again, like buying art on the street, don't buy just any crap on OpenSea or the crypto space. Yeah, definitely the trend is the metaverse. So I think, we're going to be moving more and more into the metaverse space with the AR, VR technologies getting really pumped and, yeah. Yeah, so when that metaverse, you're using NFTs, you're buying and you're trading, and more you're getting engaged in that space. Yeah. So this is a nice, this is a really cool definition. So non-fungible NFTs are the social currency of everything you love, and you're the central bank. Super cool definition. Yeah, and if you're sitting here, guys, and you're listening to this, and I applaud you, and I respect you, and I appreciate you for being here, seriously, you are super, super early to even be here. Very early stages still.